Hello, this is Maggie. Today I'm doing a video on the sun, going through the signs. Just a really brief overview. So I'll start with the sun in Aries. It's a very assertive personality, outgoing, direct, can be very blunt. Fire is cardinal fire. So if you have the sun in Aries, you're ruled by Mars, and so you may be very, very impulsive. And if you have a conjunction, like say you have Sun conjunct Mercury, you would have ideas so fast, you would tend to blurt things out. With Aries, it's act first, think later. Or maybe not think at all, they're action. Aries is all cardinal, fire, action. So sometimes they can get into trouble with their impulsiveness, but then, just kind of learn through experience. So Aries they're just born to act. They're pioneering. They like to be first. They're rebels, extremely independent, don't like to be told what to do. So, so that's Aries, briefly. Taurus is fixed earth. It rules the second house. Aries rules the first house, cardinal first house, fire. So fixed earth Taurus is very, very sensual. The second house is all about money, assets, material goods. Taurus is ruled by Venus, so they are very, very, they love material things. They love beautiful things, the sensuality. They may have a beautiful voice because it is ruled by Venus. So and they can be stubborn. They can be pretty stubborn because they are fixed, and the fixed signs, they really don't budge. When they have an opinion or they're set on something, they can be very stubborn about it. And they're pretty patient, very patient, pretty good with money. They have a lot more common sense than, a lot of the other signs. But when they do lose their temper, they lose it. They totally lose it. Hence the bull in the china shop. Their patience, they endure, and then, they can lose it. But Taurians, they're as a rule, they love their home they like to be surrounded by things that they like, and they love, like textures and the finer things of life, finer things. Third house sign is Gemini, mutable Gemini. So Geminis, they can change their opinion in a minute. They're not, so they're air. They're ruled by Mercury, planet of communication. So Geminis they're very extremely social. They can be a little moody because they are so changeable. They can, they're very changeable. But they have a strong need to be with people, but sometimes they want to pull back and be alone, and that's kind of their twin, it's kind of their twin. But to have the sun in Gemini in the third house is, you would be adept at communication, and you would, of course, look for where your Mercury is, what house your ruler is in, and the same with Aries. Look what house your ruler is in, Mars, and with Taurus, look what house your Venus is in. What it rules. So that would color your communication. So Geminis, they can be very chattery, great at social interaction, but they do need, the ones I know, and I've known quite a few, have been, they could be up, and then they kind of can sometimes be down, So they could be social, gregarious, and so that they need people. They need, not as much as Libra, but they need people. They love to communicate. They can be the life of the party, but at the same time, sometimes they can just need some downtime, or they can crash and burn sometimes, and get a little depressed. And I've just seen it in all my Gemini people that I know. Or if you have a Gemini moon, oh my gosh, make you very chattery. Just chatter, chatter, chatter. But this is about the sun. So the sun in the fourth house is the fourth house is Cancer. It's ruled by the moon. So the sun in the fourth house, Cancerians are very, very sweet, sensitive, nurturing. They can be very good at banking, with money. Extremely sensitive, very, very, very sensitive, and intuitive. And feelings. It's all about feelings and the home with Cancers. Feelings in the home and mom or motherhood. But they too can be a little bit moody and sensitive, and if you step on their toes, or hurt their feelings, it might take them a minute to get over it, but and they're such nurturers. Yeah, they sun in Cancer, but and they're cardinal too. They're on a cardinal angle. Yeah, cardinal angle. So that's sun in Cancer. Sun in Leo is just it's the heart. All the fire signs are spirit. But Leo is fixed. It's fixed. And so it too can be stubborn and rigid, my way or the highway. But their presence, they want to be the center of attention. Their presence is known. They like to just shine. They like to be the center of attention. They may talk about themselves a lot. I'm not dissing Leos in any way. I'm just saying that they can be. If you have like Leo on the ascendant, you can have like a full mane of hair. That's one way to look at a Leo. Frequently they have a full lion's mane of hair. And of course they can have a fiery temper like all the fire signs. Aries probably has the worst temper. And Gemini too. Yeah, Gemini too. When the moods change with Gemini, they can have a temper too. And of course, everyone has a temper to some degree. And I already talked about Taurus. So just with Leo, they can be aggressive, assertive. The fifth house rules children. Creativity, self-expression. So Leos have to be expressing themselves, or they just want to shine. I had a brother, he was a Leo, and he just always had to finish his story. Just let me finish my story. So, and he was very loud. They could be very loud, and they could just sort of just, like if you're in a group and there's a Leo in the group, say you're having a night out, they would want to be the center of attention. And they probably would, because they have that outgoing personality that just shines, and they have very strong leadership skills, but they're extremely generous because they are ruled by the heart. But you too can have a fiery temper, but at the same time they're very generous. So moving on to sixth house, Virgo. If you have the sun in Virgo or in the sixth house, that's Virgo is earth sign, mutable earth. So it's it's all about work and health. If you had the sun in Virgo, you would be really good at paying attention to detail. Depending what planets you have there, how I mean, how compulsive about detail you could be. You know, say if you have Pluto in Virgo, yeah, it could be, you know, really obsessive about that maybe. But if you had the sun in Virgo, in the sixth house, you know, it's all about work and health. So maybe work in a health field, you know, nursing, a doctor, any kind of a. And so practical common sense, and you have this analytical mind because you're ruled by Mercury as well. It's the joint ruler of Gemini. So your mind is almost at warp speed, but it's analyzing. I mean, you're constant analyzing. Sometimes it's hard for you to make a decision, and yeah, very, very analytical. And so you could use those analytical skills in any capacity, but you want to be aware of being critical of others. So maybe don't speak out all your thoughts. Yeah, and it's service too. The sixth house is service. The sixth from the 12th. The opposition is Pisces, so frequently sixth house is in some kind of service, maybe health service or a health field. Yeah. So Sun in Virgo. Yeah. As for temper, you know, they're pretty stable. The ones I know, Sun in Virgo, they're pretty stable. They're pretty, you know, they're just common sense, practical. You know, they're always working, and if they're not working, they're having fun with projects and organizing. That's fun for them, is organizing. I guess I was talking about a specific person that I know, but for me, that would be work, and definitely not fun to organize a closet or something like that. You know, or organize a whole house. But you would be great at professional, you know, organization skills to help people. Yeah. Anyway, just a thought. So Sun in Cardinal Libra, seventh house is personal relationships, very social. And Libra, it's about harmony, beauty, justice. It opposes Aries. But the seventh house, Libra, it's about the other, and so they really, really find themselves through the other, and they relationships are all important to them, and they're usually very good at them. And they like everything just beautiful and nice, and you know, it's not always perfectly harmonious and as beautiful as perhaps they would like things to be. But yeah, Libras can be very beautiful as well. They can frequently have dimples. Yes, especially if you have Libra Sun or Ascendant. Frequently you have dimples somewhere. Or if you're not beautiful, you may have a pleasant demeanor, and you know, maybe a soft, beautiful voice. Or, but you would be interested in beauty. You know, Libra is ruled by Saturn and Venus, and you know, it loves beauty and harmony and peace and justice. So you know, you could also work in any capacity with other people, or you know, just in a partnership. And you know, Libras they almost feel a need to be socially engaged, and if they're not, they could be unhappy. But Libras too, you know, they are cardinal air, so they can crash and burn when they're off balance, because they're balanced and peaceful, and you know, most of the time But every once in a while, the scales tip, and you know, they can, just get kind of irritable and lose it because things. But then they get back on the other side of the scale and they're fine. So most of the time, though, they're, um, they're very social and engaging and nice, maybe too nice, maybe codependent nice. So if the scale gets tipped, sometimes they can get off balance and get angry about it. But they get over it. Sun in Scorpio is, or the sun in the 8th house. Scorpio is fixed Scorpio. It's ruled by Mars and Pluto, joint ruler. So Scorpios are very, it's water. Yeah, it's fixed water. So they're very, very sensitive, extremely sensitive. They can be very sweet. They can sort of hold a lot interiorly. They can be very psychic, intuitive. And sometimes they can hold a grudge or a resentment for a while. They've been known to get back at people, but I don't know that all of them are like that. But Scorpios, they love mystery, and they love, because their rulers are Pluto and Mars, they love to, like say, being a Freemason or something like that. They love to dig deep for mystery. And if you're in a relationship with one, it would be very, very intense. But Scorpios are very, very intuitive, watery sign, and they need their downtime. They need their downtime. All the water signs do. Cancer just needs a timeout. From all their moods, and Scorpio too, they really need some alone time. They do. I think they could probably get drained if they're, around people too much, unlike Libra, who probably would enjoy that. But Libra too would need some downtime, especially if their scales are tipped. So Sagittarius, that's fire. It's mutable fire. So the mutable signs are more kind of go with the flow, changeable. They're not carved in stone, fixed, Yeah, the fixed signs are not really go with the flow. It's my way, like fixed Scorpio. If they're known for their determination, and if they have a goal, they will reach that goal because they're fixed and they have a lot of power. Scorpios have a lot of power, so they will reach their goal. But Sagittarians, they are mutable. Sun and Sag would be, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so frequently they're optimists, they're sort of a buoyant personality. They may be very, very intelligent, wise, just love traveling, foreign travel or any kind of travel, just always wanting to travel. Higher learning, you may take up law, publishing, teaching, any kind of teaching. But Sagittarians, they seem to love to travel, and they're just really nice. They're extremely generous, optimistic. The ones I know, of course, they can be negative too, and they can lose their temper too. They're fire signs, all the fire signs can lose their temper. All humans can, of course, but yeah, the fire signs, when they're mad, they're mad. And Scorpio too. If you step on their toes, they'll hold a grudge for a long, long, long time. So Sun and Sag is a very generous, giving, outgoing personality, and they're always looking forward. They're visionaries, looking towards the future. Eternal optimists. There's always tomorrow. Yeah, and so they're in trine with all the fire signs, with Leo and Aries. And right now there's a really beautiful trine going on with all the fire signs. But yeah, so Sagittarius rules the ninth house. So if you have the sun in the ninth house or in Sagittarius, color your personality, mutable fire, and you want to stay active. You definitely want to channel that fire energy into some kind of activity, because you need to. You just need to. But higher learning, traveling, or just exercising. Exercising, trying new and different things. Yeah, Sagittarians, they're adventurers. They're adventurers. They love to explore and just, I was so fortunate to have a Sagittarian father. He was so much fun. I mean, he took us everywhere, tide pooling and everywhere, So, yeah, I was very thankful for that. And he was an attorney as well. So, it's so wise. I really miss him a lot. I would call him for either legal advice or he's just so damn smart, And besides law, I got into alternative medicine later in life, and just, always sort of seeking higher learning in some kind of form. Yeah. Capricorn. Moving on to Capricorn. Capricorn rules the midheaven, the career sector. It's one of the major angles, the midheaven and the IC. Cancer rules the IC, which I neglected to say. The IC is the bottom of the chart, and the MC is the midheaven, the top of the chart. So that's where you are seen by the public, in the public eye, how you're perceived. And cardinal Capricorn Earth sign, and they're at the top of the zodiac. They're ruled by Saturn. So they're the builders. They're the builders. They love structure. They frequently they achieve so much, They just achieve so much. Or they can also go to great excess too, Not every Capricorn's an overachiever. Some, can just be selfish, self-centered. Well, so can Aries be selfish and self-centered, as well as direct and ambitious. But Capricorns can be, they can sort of like aloof. I think they put achievement and work and their desires ahead of everything else. So anyway, it rules the 10th house of career. So if you have Saturn, in the 10th house in Capricorn, or if you have the sun in Capricorn, or any planet in the 10th house, that's great. That is so great for like a career. A lot of people have no idea what to do, when they grow up. But if you have that, you just would have a much easier time than a lot of other people that don't have any earth or have anything up in the midheaven or in the 10th house. So you would have a lot more common sense and structure, and achievement may come easily to you, but you need to watch for selfishness and excess as well, and maybe putting personal relationships in there somewhere, because the opposition is Cancer. So, and right now we're having the eclipses, so that's pretty much the axis is going to be Cancer Capricorn. So it's like groundedness in the home versus the career or public eye or how you are in the world. So, um, yeah, so Saturn provides structure, and it gets it done. Slow and steady gets the job done. I mean, these guys, they're steadfast, and they can, you know, they seem to be always working, and they can do a lot of things that fire signs couldn't dream of doing because they don't. I don't think they have the endurance, you know. And you do. You have a terrific endurance. All the air signs, you know, Sun in Virgo, Sun in Taurus, and Sun in Capricorn. Yeah, terrific endurance and patience and tolerance, and to a point. To a point. Yeah, Capricorns can, you know, they could be mean too. You know, it depends. It depends. Everyone can. So moving on to the 11th house, Aquarius. Aquarius is air, fixed air sign. It's ruled by Uranus and Saturn. So they're very analytical and mental as well, on a much, much higher scale than both Gemini and Virgo, because they're both ruled by Mercury. With Aquarians, they're just so open-minded, and they're very analytical as well. They're always thinking. I mean, they have like a million ideas at once, and if you talk to one, it all comes out, you know, because they're very, very mental. They can be very, very talkative. Very good with groups, friendships, social media, people, humanitarian. Yeah, Aquarians, they can be stubborn though in their opinions. They can really argue and be stubborn about their rigid opinions at times. But at the same time, they're so open-minded and eccentric, and you know, they're just open to, you know, a lot of astrologers are Aquarians, or maybe have Aquarius ascendant, or you would look for Aquarius or Uranus somewhere in the chart. You know, I mean, that's not always the mark of an astrologer, but it certainly helps. There's some great Virgo astrologers too, but they're, you know, just analytical, whereas the water signs are more intuitive. The Capricorns just get it done. I mean, they just work hard and just have this whole complete, perfect, you know, presentation, you know. Whereas, you know, some of the fire signs might just kind of throw it together, you know, or be more, you know, mutable about it, or not. Sag would anyway. So back to Aquarius, yeah. So they could be interested in, you know, they could be out there, you know, just and extremely generous, very, very generous. They're always giving of themselves, or they give gifts, you know, possessions, gifts. Very friendly, outgoing. They make great life partners, I think, for Aries Aquarius, because they're in sextile. They get along really, they connect. There's a really almost karmic connection between those two. The Aquarians would be into, you know, who knows, flat Earth, or, you know, just UFOs, or they're just open-minded. They don't shut the door. They're open to all opinions. However, if they have an opinion, you know, being a fixed sign, they can just really get rigid and maybe argue about it. Yeah, I have a brother who's an Aquarian. Oh my gosh, it was really hard to listen to the rigidity. So that was more the Saturnian ruler of Aquarius, but then the Uranian ruler of Aquarius could really get out there with, you know, trying to build an electric car, and, you know, flat Earth, and all, you know, open to a lot of new and different ideas. They're great humanitarians. but their analytical skills, I mean, their communication skills, Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury, so their mind, their thought life, Mercury is your thinking, your thought life, is a lot more elevated because it's ruled by Uranus, and it's near the IC in the 11th house. So it's more about, it's evolved more into being about the groups, Whereas the first few signs are more about kind of finding your identity still, the first 6 signs, But the 7th to the 12th, it's more inclusive. Yeah, so great. So Pisces, if you have the sun in Pisces, or the ascendant in Pisces, it's mutable water, very deep water. Again, you're very intuitive, psychic, maybe mediumistic, clairvoyant. I mean, I was going to say I love Pisces. I love all the signs, actually. But some you relate to more than others because it depends, if you're like sextile, or I'll go into aspects later, another time. But Pisces, they're very, all the signs are kind of blended into Pisces, so they're kind of universal, and they can just sometimes be, they may appear sometimes a little spacey, but actually they're one of the most creative signs of the zodiac. They're more imaginative, they're into fashion, music, poetry, all the arts. It's ruled by Neptune, planet of illusion. So they're very at home in this fantasy world, and frequently they make great musicians. But the escapist tendencies, Pisces need some downtime too. All 3 water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and especially Pisces, and Cancer too, need some time alone. Yeah, so Pisces can sometimes tend to isolate, but they can be really social and funny as well. And they can be kind of off the wall, kind of just random, which I like, I like random. I like random in a conversation. They may just, talking to them, they may, of course, be open to everything because they're so universal. Be very, very intuitive, psychic. Healers, the 12th house is the house of the unconscious. It's also the house of service and healing, and sometimes secrets, karma. So Pisces can sometimes maybe not really, they have so much in their identity, they can kind of get lost in it because there's just so much in there, It's like all the signs are sort of combined into Pisces, and then it starts all over again in Aries. And so they're just, they're very interesting. Very, very interesting. Extremely sensitive. You really don't want to hurt their feelings. So Pisces too is, Venus is exalted in Pisces. They're ruled by Neptune. So you would want to look where your Neptune is. To see, what sign it's in and how that would play out, because your ruler is so important. And again, if you're Capricorn, you want to look where your Saturn, what sign your Saturn is in. And if you're, I'm going backtracking now, typical Aries backtrack. If you're Sagittarian, you want to look where your Jupiter is, and that will color, which area of your life, will affect. And if you're Aquarius, you want to look where your Saturn and Uranus are, because that will affect you as well. So Pisces, you definitely want to look for your Neptune. It's also ruled by Jupiter. It's co-ruled. Jupiter also rules Sagittarius. So that's foreign travel. Um, yeah, could be relocating, foreign travel. The Pisces needs to be by the water. They, you know, they need to be by the water, and they need some alone time, downtime. They need to meditate. They can have escapist tendencies, so you need to be aware of, getting immersed in drugs and alcohol, and or maybe go through that experience and learn how to use it in a different way, Um, but they're so sweet. They're just so sweet. I love Pisces. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll probably do the houses and maybe the aspects. Just go around the wheel like I usually do. So if you like this video or you like this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you would like your chart done, at this time I'm charging $45, and just email me and I'll be happy to do it. Okay, thank you.